Happy Football Sunday. Welcome to week 12. I got to get a link to share to my Discord, folks. And we have quite a bit to talk about. All right. Discord has been made aware. Ha, you saw that, Crumply Heads. Yes, sir. Oh boy. Big game. Big game today. Big game today. Huge game. I'm nervous about it. I think I don't know. I'm nervous about it for the birds, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Um, we'll do a quick updates on injuries, just dating back to the information that we had yesterday, and then we can talk shop if anybody needs anything based on what has changed. We already talked about it yesterday, but just to reiterate, Joe Burrow is not playing today for the Cincinnati Bengals. It will be Joe Flacco for another game. Um, Burrow is expected now to return on Thanksgiving. I think they're playing the Ravens, Cincinnati is, on Thanksgiving night. So Burrow trending toward a Week 13 return, but not Week 12. Chris Godwin is expected to play today, but he will be tonight against the LA Rams. He will be on a pitch count. He cannot be started anywhere. Even in the most extreme situations, we're not playing Chris Godwin. Kenneth Walker is expected to be fine for Week 12, and not only is he expected to be fine, he's expected to get more opportunities than he's been receiving up to this point. So we rock with Kenneth Walker with a little extra confidence today. Alvin Kamara expected to play Week 12 against the Saints. You can fire him up as an RB2-ish, flex-ish play. But obviously the Saints offense brings him down a little bit. Bucky Irving expected to return in Week 13. That'll be a welcome sight. But we're not going to have him today. Sean Tucker is on the flex radar in standard and half PPR leagues. Rachaad White is probably the way I would still go in full PPR, but honestly, I don't have a ton of confidence in him. Let's see, what else do we have? There's quite a few things. Aaron Rodgers is not going to play today. The turnaround time for the wrist injury was too short. 1 week was not enough, so he will not go against the Bears. Mason Rudolph will start for the Steelers. Man, I hope you're not relying on DK Metcalf because that you feel much worse about pretty much everybody on the Steelers offense, but especially Metcalf having to catch the ball from Mason Rudolph as opposed to Aaron Rodgers. It's not a bad matchup, but it is a bad situation. I would be trying to pivot off of DK Metcalf if you can. There's only so far you can drop him before you say enough is enough. But he's going to be tough to trust today with Mason Rudolph. I think you can play Jaylen Warren, but again, his ceiling is lowered with the worse off. It's just going to be a worse offense with Mason Rudolph compared to Aaron Rodgers. So you can fire up Warren, lower expectations. Do not play Kenny Gainwell. One, Warren is healthy, and two, that offense is not going to be as good. I just got a member question separately, so let me make sure I get to that. Yeah, I would play Jaylen Warren for the Steelers. The low end RB2, flex radar, just expectations tempered with Mason Rudolph being the starter. Do not play Kenny Gainwell. Do not play any ancillary Steelers. DK Metcalf, it depends on who your alternate options are, but I would really be looking for a pivot. Josh Jacobs, this is a big one. Not going to play today against the Minnesota Vikings. He has been ruled out. It will be Emmanuel Wilson. It's pretty straightforward. If you had Josh Jacobs and Emmanuel Wilson, get Jacobs out of there, put Wilson in. If you have Jacobs and you didn't get Emmanuel Wilson, let me know what your alternate options are and we can talk shop. If you do have Emmanuel Wilson, regardless of Josh Jacobs, and you're trying to find him a way to get him into your lineup, we can talk about that as well. It is a good spot for him to be in. So, perfectly fine guy to fire up if you can find a way to get him into your lineup. We will start getting more inactives coming in the next 20 minutes or so. And also with, similar to, or not similar to Burrow, but, with Jacobs, the Packers play on Thanksgiving. So having to play a game today and also play a game on Thursday, the Packers are probably keeping all of that into consideration. If the Packers were playing on a normal Sunday next week, maybe Jacobs goes today, but they probably want to have him as ready as he possibly can be for a big showdown against the Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving. So that's probably factoring into the decision. But no Jacobs today. Fire up Emmanuel Wilson if you can, but obviously don't take an obvious start out of your lineup for him. And we'll take a look at inactives once they start rolling in. Worthy, Downs, Parker, Washington in full point PPR. Worthy has had a forgetful season. And honestly, Downs has as well. I might just go Parker, Washington. Not because I have any type of super confidence in Parker, Washington, but Worthy's done nothing this year, especially so with Rashee Rice back in the lineup. And honestly, Downs hasn't done that much either. He is attached to a good offense, a very good offense. But he's running behind Alec Pierce and Michael Pittman on the depth chart. He's not even a full-time player. I don't know if he's cracking like 75% of the snaps most weeks. Now I'm curious. Not that it really matters. I think I'm just firing up Parker Washington and hoping for the best. Yeah, Downs has not had more than 67% of the snaps in any one game this year. He's not a full-time player. I like Josh Downs, but he's not a full-time player. I would play Parker Washington. Tucker or Wilson. Okay, so yeah, the pickups of the week, and you can only play one of them. I would probably go Wilson because Jacobs is out. Whereas, yes, Bucky is out for Tampa, but Rachaad White is still there to vulture receiving work. I would assume Sean Tucker leads the Bucs backfield tonight, but I think it's a fair expectation that Wilson will lead the backfield. There's less gray area as far as who's going to get the most opportunities for the Packers in their backfield. It's going to be Wilson. Almost assuredly, it's going to be Emmanuel Wilson. So just based on the fact that I think he's going to be more of a full-time player, I say Wilson. And again, even in full PPR, I don't feel as like Sean Tucker will be fine. He will do well. He should be fine based on the volume that he's expected to get tonight. But in full PPR leagues, if Rachaad White is out there, like if the Bucs are trailing against the Rams, which is not inconceivable, the Rams are a great team and they've got a great offense. Rachaad White could be out there, pass blocking, pass catching downs. He could be usurping opportunities here and there. So in standard and half PPR scoring, I'm perfectly fine with Tucker, but full PPR pushes me off of him a little bit more. Wilson. Wilson over Tucker. What's going on, Sport Dog? Good to see you. Aaron Jones, Alec Pierce, Ramondre Stevenson, Kayshon Boutte, Bishal Tootin. I'm playing Aaron Jones. You know, the Vikings have recommitted to him well over Jordan Mason. Jones is the starter. Mason is the backup. It's not a 1A, 1B situation. So I'm playing Jones. And then in full PPR, Pierce is enticing. Great matchup. Well, not a great matchup. It's a great offense, and I trust the Colts pretty much no matter what. It is a cold weather game in Kansas City, outdoors, but they are coming off their bye week, so I feel okay about them. Ramondre's in a beautiful matchup against Cincinnati. What we don't know is what his workload is going to look like, but I do expect that he's going to remain involved in the Patriots offense. Tootin is very intriguing, but he is a backup. Well, he could be a 1B. And then Boutte, it's his first game back after a multi-week absence. It's a great matchup against Cincinnati. I think I'll go Alec Pierce here because it's full PPR, Sport Dog. He is a full-time starter for the Colts offense. He has been improving steadily, week over week, year over year. It seems like he keeps getting better. Feels like he's more of a complete receiver than he was in previous years where he was just a deep threat. He's still just a third or fourth year player, so he's getting better. He's improving. And the Colts offense is good. I would go Pierce in full PPR along with Aaron Jones. Other interesting options that you have with Ramondre, Boutte, and Tootin, but I think they've got a few more question marks around their roles. So I'll take the guys that I feel more confident about their roles. That's Aaron Jones and Alec Pierce. And again, we'll be getting more inactives rolling in about 15 minutes from now, about 11:30 Eastern. Let's see. Okay. Got this. Yeah, it's a rehash just because now there's no Aaron Rodgers. I don't want to play Mason Rudolph. I've never once seen anything in a game that made me think I want to play Mason Rudolph in fantasy. He's, he is what he is. I think I still say Lawrence here. I said Lawrence yesterday. I think I still say Lawrence. It should be a competitive game for Jacksonville on the road against Arizona, a perfectly beatable matchup for Lawrence. Winston, he's going to chuck it. He will, the volume will be there for Jameis. It's just a tough matchup against Detroit. So I don't love that spot for him. And then Chuck, again, we're talking about such a small sample size. We haven't really seen him. There's no track record or pedigree to go off of. He did okay back in Week 10, and there's nothing scary about Atlanta's defense, so he could be fine. But again, there's just very little to go off of. So I think I'll say Lawrence. I think my answer remains unchanged. Let's see. Need 3 at wide receiver between Michael Wilson, Puka, AJ, Yosivas, Burden. You got to play Puka. Oh, sorry. The running back question is need 3 as well. I'm playing the studs. I know Saquon hasn't been the same Saquon as last year, but I think you have to go back to the well with him. He's just, if there's one guy who feels like he could any given week be bulletproof by the Eagles' issues on offense, Saquon can bust a big play at any time. I do worry about their offense, especially without Lane Johnson, but it's Saquon freaking Barkley. We can't bench him. I'm playing Saquon. You're playing Derrick. Is that Derrick Henry? You're playing Derrick Henry against the Jets. You're playing Derrick Henry every week. And then I'm gonna swing for the fences and take TreVeyon Henderson. I know Ramondre is back, therefore the roles are potentially muddied and unclear, but it probably shouldn't matter. They are playing the Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals are getting cooked left and right everywhere by every position against every offense that they face this year. Multiple running backs per week can and have gone off against the Cincinnati Bengals. I think it's perfectly reasonable to expect that Ramondre and TreVeyon Henderson have good numbers today. And then here's the thing. After the past couple weeks' performance, are we really worried about Ramondre Stevenson? Like, I got to see it to believe it. I'm putting TreVeyon Henderson back into my lineup with confidence. You know, if they go away from him, then shame on the Patriots, honestly, because it's clear that TreVeyon is their most electric running back. I'm playing Barkley, Henry, and Henderson at running back. And then at wide receiver, I mean, you have to play Puka. I think you have to play Michael Wilson after a 15-catch performance last week, and Marvin Harrison is out once again. I know A.J. Brown has been awful. I don't think I can bring myself to play Yossi Vash or Luther Burden ahead of A.J. Brown. I know he's been bad. I know it's been bad. If you bench A.J. Brown for Yossi Vash, that's your own decision, and I'm not trying to tell you, like, if you're feeling a certain type of way, follow your gut, go with your gut. I couldn't bring myself to do it. And I know how bad AJ has been this year. I know how frustrating he's been. And I do worry about the Eagles offense, but I got to go back to him. When we're talking about Yossi Vash and Luther Burden, I got to play AJ Brown. And then I'll play Puka and Michael Wilson along with that. Really quick, let me get my member questions. That's a perk of being a member of the channel. And then I will get to the other questions. Appreciate everybody's patience. I would play May, Sport Dog. I mean, at this point, look, Lamar Jackson has for years now been a set and forget high-end QB1. I don't think necessarily anything has changed on that front, but Drake May has emerged as one of the best. He's one of the best quarterbacks in football right now, and he's got an incredible matchup on the road against Cincinnati. I don't think we can go away from Drake May. He gets Kayshon Boutte back today. He gets Ramondre Stevenson back today. He's got a full complement of weapons. If you have Drake May, you don't care who he throws the ball to, pending, of course, who your opponent may have. But May is on fire. And given the matchup, like, Lamar should be fine today against the Jets, but also what if the Ravens get up big on the Jets early and then they're just running the ball with Henry and Keaton Mitchell and Justice Hill in the second half of the game, and Lamar didn't have a bad game, that he just didn't need to do all that much because the Ravens are good and the Jets are not. I'm playing Drake May. And you could say the same thing, well, the Bengals aren't that good either, but the Patriots are on the road. You know, I think road teams tend to be a little bit more aggressive, keeping their foot on the gas for longer, just to ensure that they're in good shape to get a win on the road. Not that I'm guaranteeing the Patriots will win, but they're the better team than Cincinnati. But being on the road, they probably need to keep the foot on the gas for a little bit longer, as opposed to if they were playing a bad team at home. May. I'm playing May. I'm playing May over everybody on the slate today because Josh Allen played on Thursday. He would be the only guy, and I know he had a bad game against Houston, but it's Josh freaking Allen. Drake May is the top quarterback on the slate for me today. Do you start Wilson over A.J. Brown? I mean, yeah, again, so I just kind of briefly talked about this. The concerns about the Eagles' offense are warranted. They are very fair. And if you want to move off of A.J. Brown, I get it. Michael Wilson, like, the other question was Andre Yossi-Vash and Luther Burden, and look, those guys have an expanded opportunity. Yossi-Vash because of no Jamar Chase, Luther Burden because I think he's leapfrogged Zacchaeus and maybe even DJ Moore, but we don't know that for sure. Michael Wilson, clear-cut starting opportunity. There's not really anybody outside of Trey McBride that's going to contend for too many targets, so Michael Wilson should get a ton of opportunities. that would be a name where I would get it. I would understand. If you want to pivot off of A.J. Brown for Michael Wilson, that's fine. There's a certain tier break that I reach where it's like, okay, I think I have to play A.J. Brown. Michael Wilson is in the class right now, at least this week, of wide receivers where it's like, yeah, you could go to him. You could pivot to him. It's a tough call, but I mean, honestly, we're not getting that much. We're not getting that much from A.J. Brown right now. He's like a low-end wide receiver too, and I think Wilson is kind of more he's in that category as well, but with more optimism. So I think that's fine. I think it's fine to go Michael Wilson over A.J. I can't believe I'm saying that. That is a crazy sentence to be saying, but here we are. Mason Taylor or Juwan Johnson? Juwan. I don't want to. I don't want to start any Jets. I mean, outside of Breece Hall, but honestly, even Breece Hall, we got to temper expectations in a big way. Tyrod is starting. The Jets season is in the scrap heap. Mason Taylor's an interesting player. No Garrett Wilson. He should garner a good amount of targets, but how effective is that going to be? And I know the Ravens defense isn't as good as they have been in years past, but it's the Jets. Tyrod is a 36, 37-year-old backup quarterback. Their season is spiraled out. Their offense is not a threat. There's nothing I'll take Juwan. At least Tyler Shuck offers a little bit of upside at the quarterback position, and Juwan is a vet, coming off their bye week, so they're rested. And before they went on their bye, we saw Juwan catch a touchdown. I just anybody but the Jets. Outside of Breece Hall, anybody but any Jets players. I don't want to play Mason Taylor. I don't want to play Mason Taylor. I would play a lot of tight ends over Mason Taylor today. How hard do I think Jalen Carter hits Dak? Oh, man, that's true. I mean, it's a revenge game for the Cowboys. They lost a close one against the Eagles in the season opener, but the Eagles probably haven't forgotten that whole incident got Jalen Carter kicked out of the game. So, yeah, he better be. Hopefully he's on his best behavior, doesn't do anything too stupid. But, yeah, I guess he might be out for blood today. Well, that'll be super interesting to see. It's going to be must-see TV today. It's going to be must-see TV today. Eagles, Cowboys. We shall see. Kittle, Judkins, Sean, Warren. What's going on, Mike? I just saw you pop in. I will get to you shortly. Kittle, Judkins, Tucker, Warren. Is that Tyler Warren or Jaylen Warren? Your running back, I think, is Judkins, who is I'll be honest, he's a tough sell today. Judkins is a tough sell today. Shedeur is starting. The Raiders are they're not great, but they're actually, by the numbers, they're not bad against the run. And obviously we're talking about Shedeur getting his first career start, and all this week he was getting his first ever reps with the first team, so he's really working from behind the eight ball today. That being said, I mean, I might lean on Judkins for some volume. It's gonna be tough, but at least he's the unquestioned bell cow for Cleveland, whereas Tucker could lose opportunities to Rachaad White tonight if the Bucs are trailing, which they very well could be against a good Rams offense. And it's Tyler Warren. Yeah, I would probably play those two tight ends. I would play Kittle and Warren. And then I would play, I think I would play Judkins. I want to get more excited about Sean Tucker, and I do think he'll be fine tonight. But again, he could lose receiving work to Rachaad White, and if look, the Rams are at home and they've got a great offense. So if you think the Bucs might be trailing in that game, then Rachaad White might come in for more opportunities than you would like to see as the person who has Tucker. If you think the Bucs are going to win that game, which I don't know if they will, if you think the Bucs will win that game or keep it close, then Tucker has a little bit more of a compelling argument. But I think I slightly lean Judkins despite his bad circumstances because of the more guaranteed volume. And then I would play the 2 tight ends. Yeah, and you're definitely playing Rico, no doubt. Mike, AJ or Henderson? Henderson. I mean, that is a perfectly fine, perfectly understandable pivot given what we've gotten from A.J. Brown this year, which is very little. He's had a couple of really good weeks and a lot of really bad weeks. And now the Eagles are without Lane Johnson, who is one of the key pieces of their offense, not just their offensive line, their offense in general. The trickle-down effect of his absence will be felt. Henderson, I mean, Henderson, at least I can play Henderson. Even with Ramondre's return, I feel like I can play Henderson with a lot of confidence. They're playing the Cincinnati Bengals. That's number one. Everybody eats against Cincinnati. And number two, like with Ramondre's return, are we really going away from Henderson after what he has done the past couple of weeks? I'm not. I'll believe it when I see it that Ramondre has, completely taken back his complete role that he had previously before the injury. You can't completely go away from TreVeyon Henderson after what he did these past couple games. And even if Ramondre does get a solid amount of work, they're playing the Cincinnati Bengals. The Cincinnati Bengals get absolutely crushed by everybody. Multiple running backs can do well on any given week against Cincinnati. They are so bad. And they still don't have Trey Hendrickson, the one good player that they have on defense. It's a train wreck. The Bengals defense is a straight-up train wreck. It was a train wreck last year. It's a train wreck this year. I'm playing Henderson. I am not worried about the return of Ramondre as it pertains to Henderson. Greg, what's going on? Yeah, I would play Aaron Jones over Tucker. Again, it's a volume thing. I am more confident in Aaron Jones's role than I am in Sean Tucker's role. Sean Tucker looks like of the healthy Bucs running backs right now. Sean Tucker, Rachaad White. It's clear who looks better. It's Sean Tucker. He looks like the better player. But Rachaad White is probably not going away in specific situations. The passing down roll, 2-minute drill, pass blocking situations. Rachaad White is solid at all those things. He sucks as a runner. As an efficient runner of the football, Rachaad White is not that. But he can catch the ball out of the backfield, he can pass block, and he can be the guy in the 2-minute offense, the hurry-up drill, et cetera, et cetera. That's going to eat into Tucker's workload. I'm not as worried about Aaron Jones's workload with him compared to Jordan Mason. And it's a revenge game for Aaron Jones. Yeah, I don't think I would play Aaron Jones over Tucker. And good to see some of my members this morning. And everybody, appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out. But I got to give the members the shout-outs. That's another perk of being a member of the channel. Thank you guys for coming in, and let me know if you need anything else. I'm playing Wilson over Kayshon Boutte. There's no Josh Jacobs. And Boutte, it's his first game back in a couple of weeks. He missed a couple of games with the hamstring injury. They may ease him back into action. Wilson is going to get probably something close to a bell cow workload today. No Josh Jacobs. I mean, Marshawn Lloyd is dead to the world. That guy hasn't been seen in years. Who is the backup? Who would be the backup to Wilson today? I should know this. I'm looking. Chris Brooks and Pierre Strong. Yeah, Emmanuel Wilson is going to get a lot of opportunities today. Wilson. Yeah. Crumply Hats has a couple of questions, so I will get to him, but then I see the other questions ahead. I promise I will get to them, but I got to get to the members first. Worthy or Dobbs in half PPR? Dobbs. I mean, Worthy just hasn't done anything at all this year. Worthy he's done nothing. Especially so with Rice back in the lineup. He hasn't done anything. Dobbs at least is a starter. I believe Dontavian Wicks is expected to play, but Dobbs runs ahead of him. I would play, and then again, and other players on their offense need to pick up the slack with no Josh Jacobs. Oh, and Matthew Golden is out. Matthew Golden is out, so even more opportunities available. For Dobbs. Dobbs over Worthy for sure. Kamara, Stevenson, Parker, Washington. So Kamara's in a decent matchup against the Falcons. He doesn't really have much of a ceiling, but at least it's a familiar foe, division opponent that Kamara has played a million times. He's very familiar with him. Stevenson in an unknown role against Cincinnati. It's a beautiful matchup, but what does that backfield look like with TreVeyon Henderson's emergence? Parker Washington, no, I don't think I can go him over Kamara. I would play Kamara. I don't have a ton of confidence in the Saints, but they're coming off their bye week. They're playing a division opponent. Kamara's going to get up for that. He's played the Falcons a million times in his career. I'm sure he's familiar with them. I'll take Kamara. I'll take Kamara. And then Coker or Hopkins. Oh, boy. Yeah. Ew is right. Coker's tough to trust, but it is a good matchup. Hopkins is also tough to trust because they're playing the Jets, and there may not be that many opportunities to go around. Is Rashad Bateman playing today? If Bateman is out, I might say Hopkins, and if Bateman is in, I might say Coker. Just take the shot. Bateman is out. He is not playing. Hopkins, Crumply Heads. I'll take Hopkins. Hopkins over Coker because there's no Rashad Bateman. And then Greg, I see everybody's questions. I promise I will get to them, but I got to get the members first. As far as defense, I mean, the Patriots should be fine. It's another game of Joe Flacco. They don't have Jamar Chase. The Patriots should be fine. They are on the road, so it's a little more volatile. I do like the Raiders today. I like the Raiders against Shedeur Sanders. I don't want to drop New England. But if you can pick up Vegas, I would be fine with playing them. Who does New England have their next few weeks? I'm taking a quick look. Patriots have they have the Giants week 13 before their bye week. Yeah. Keep the Patriots if you can, if you'd have to drop the Patriots to pick up Vegas, Greg, then just play the Patriots. But if there's some other random bench depth player that you're not considering for this week, you could pick up Vegas for them and play them. And I would play Santos at kicker. Rodgers is out. There could be short fields created for the Bears offense. The Steelers defense has struggled this year in general. The Bears are at home. I don't think there's any weather concerns in Chicago today. It's a little cold, but there's no winds. There's no rain. Yeah. I would play Santos. I would play Santos. Oh, Vegas just got took. I would just rock with the Patriots. They're a good defense. They're a good unit. And they get the Giants next week. I would just stick with them. Yeah, Ravens and Boswell should both be fine. Well, Boswell's a little tougher to trust today because of Mason Rudolph. Just keep that in mind. Um, there may be fewer scoring opportunities for the Steelers offense. So Boswell's a great kicker. You probably can rock you can rock with him, but just don't expect as much today. With the Steelers down Aaron Rodgers and starting Mason Rudolph. Greg, I'm definitely playing Michael Wilson over Mooney. I trust Jacoby Brissett more than I trust Kirk Cousins. And after Michael Wilson's performance last week, I mean, with Marvin Harrison's out again, I think, I would go back to the well. Is he going to catch the ball 15 times again? No, probably not. But he's got a full-time role locked in there for at least one more week while Marvin Harrison recovers from his appendectomy. I would play Michael Wilson. And yes, I would play, as frustrating as A.J. Brown has been, guys like Tucker and Tootin, I can't play over A.J. Brown. Yeah, I would play A.J. there. Let's see. Let me get these questions really quickly up at the top. Dobbs or Alec Pierce? I kind of like Pierce just because of the offense. Both should be fine. Dobbs and Pierce should both be fine. But Pierce feels like more like I feel like Pierce has the higher floor actually. Dobbs has a big-time playmaker on the other side of that offense in Christian Watson. Michael Pittman has been really good, make no mistake. But Pierce, I don't know. It feels like he's like improving and getting better, and the stock is up on Alec Pierce. The vibes are good on Alec Pierce. It's a tough matchup against Kansas City, but it should be a game where the Colts have to stay aggressive on offense against a good Chiefs offense. I think I lean Pierce over Dobbs. And then Baker or Baker for sure. Baker's playing significantly better ball than Flacco. Flacco doesn't have Jamar Chase today. Like Baker, he gets, for whatever it's worth, he gets Chris Godwin back. It's only going to be for a handful of plays, but at least it's something. And Baker is a greater threat to run. The Bucks are actually competitive in the NFC. They're going to want to keep this game close against the Rams. The Bengals are not great, and it's a tougher matchup. And again, he's down Jamar Chase. I know Baker is down Mike Evans, has been all year, but right now in the year 2025, Baker Mayfield's a better quarterback than Joe Flacco. Give me the better quarterback. I'll take Baker. See if we got any more injury updates popping in. Let's see. Xavier Worthy is active. Xavier Restrepo is active. Kenneth Walker is active. Dontavian Wicks is active. Okay, those are not new updates. Okay, where am I at? Thoughts on Restrepo? I just mentioned Restrepo. Yeah, I mean, look, no Calvin Ridley, no Ayamanor. So Restrepo is going to get an expanded opportunity, you would think. I mean, is this his first game action? Double checking. Like, is this his first game action of the year? It will be. It'll be his first game action of the year. Yeah, I mean, he's an interesting player. It's just an awful situation and a bad matchup. The Titans offense is not good right now. But Restrepo should see as many opportunities as he can handle. It's his first career game, so we're not expecting a ton today, but yeah, he's definitely a name worth monitoring just from an opportunity perspective. In this particular matchup though, I'm not super excited, but yeah, I mean, we'll see what he can do. We'll see what he can do. It's just a bad matchup against Seattle. Start 2, ETN, Swift, Judkins. The first two. I would play ETN against Arizona. Nothing scary about that matchup. And I would play Swift against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's defense is just okay. The Bears are at home. The Steelers are without Aaron Rodgers. The Bears have been the most opportunistic defense in football this year. I think they lead the league in turnovers. They could definitely get a couple more today against Mason Rudolph, create some short fields. The Bears are slight favorites. They may be bigger than slight favorites now without Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I would expect Swift to get plenty of opportunities at home in a game where the Bears are probably expecting that they should win without being able to play without having to play Aaron Rodgers. Judkins might be the most talented of these three. He's just in a brutal situation with Shedeur Sanders making his first career start. I just don't trust that. I don't trust that. There are certain players that I will play Judkins over, but ETN and Swift are established enough where I will go with those two. I'll go with those two. I'm playing Drake May over everybody today. Including Lamar. I'm playing Drake May over Lamar. I'm playing Drake May over Mahomes. I'm playing Drake May over Hurts. I'm playing Drake May over everybody. He looks like one of the best quarterbacks in football right now. It's a good matchup against Cincinnati. He gets more weapons back in Ramondre and Kayshon Boutte. I think he's got his full arsenal, his full complement of weapons available to him. I'm playing May over everybody. Lamar is still great, but Drake May is playing lights out right now. You have to go to him. And as far as Caleb versus Jacoby, both should be fine. I think I slightly lean Jacoby just because he's been a top 10 quarterback 4 out of the past 5 weeks. There's a lot of consistency there. Let's see. I have my spot in line, but Crumply Heads just jumped in, so I got to take care of that. Pitts, Otten, Coker, DK, Chig. Oh, boy. Man, I don't trust the Falcons at all, but I think my answer is Pitts. At least the one thing Pitts has going for him is an expanded opportunity. No Drake London, so he should see more targets. I don't trust Kirk Cousins. I don't trust Kyle Pitts, to be honest. I don't trust Kyle Pitts. But of these names, I mean, Otten is a dart throw, especially with Godwin back, even in a part-time role. Coker's a dart throw. DK's a dart throw. Chig is a dart throw. I guess I'll take a swing on the upside of Kyle Pitts. I don't even know what that looks like. But at least he has an expanded opportunity with no Drake London today. That only marginally makes me feel better about Pitts, but the rest of these other guys are also a bunch of dart throws. So I'll take Pitts. I'll take Pitts. I have no confidence in him whatsoever, but compared to those other names, I'll take the shot. Just put him in your lineup and don't watch the game. Just don't watch the game. Um, Trey, Tucker, or Tootin? Trey, is that Trey Tucker? Is that there's a comma in there that I don't think is it Trey Tucker or Tootin? Because that's not Trey McBride. Because that's not that's there's no because McBride is there's no way between Tucker and Tootin. I think Tucker has a little bit more of a full-time role guaranteed, but it is a tough matchup against Cleveland. Tootin is very interesting as an upside play, but what we don't definitively know is what his role is going to be, but it is a good matchup. I will say in standard scoring and half PPR scoring, I would say Tootin, and that's your floor play. I would say Tucker is more of an upside play / a PPR play. So it depends on your situation, and it depends on your scoring. Ramondre, Tootin, or Monangai. I'll take Ramondre. I trust running backs that are playing against the Cincinnati Bengals. And that's all it comes down to. Cincinnati has a horrendous defense. Everybody feasts against them. I will take Ramondre, even though we don't know his role definitively coming back from a couple games and Henderson's emergence. I would be willing to bet that both of them do well today against an awful Bengals defense. They get killed by everybody. So I have no reason to believe that a great Patriots offense can get multiple guys involved and productive against Cincinnati today. So I'll take Ramondre over those other two running backs. As far as the Rams defense, I get not wanting to drop them. They have been good. They don't have a great slate of matchups from here on out. And obviously Tampa Bay has a good offense. You could play them tonight at home. They're more of a middle-of-the-pack option for me this week as opposed to a top-end option. Like in a vacuum, I would rather play the Raiders tonight or later today. I would probably rather play Jacksonville and try to, take advantage. Like Jacoby Brissett has been great, but he could still be prone to turnovers and taking sacks. I would play the Bears today. They may not be available. But they're opportunistic. They force turnovers, and Mason Rudolph's the starting quarterback. If those teams aren't available, then the Rams are fine to stick with. But obviously, I would temper expectations a little bit because Tampa's got a good offense. And it's Trey Tucker. Standard scoring, Tootin. I'll take Tootin in standard scoring. Give me the running back with the intriguing upside. And then Worthy or Burden. I mean, I've had Worthy in a couple of questions here. Worthy just hasn't done anything. He has done. Let me just make sure I'm not. Xavier Worthy this year has been. He got hurt week 1 and then missed weeks 2 and 3. He came back week 4 and was the wide receiver 18. That's pretty good. 5 for 83. Then he was he was outside the top 40 5 out of his most recent 6 games. And that 6th game, he was a wide receiver 3. He wasn't even a wide receiver 2. Xavier Worthy has not done anything this year. And I know Burden hasn't really done anything either. Both of these guys are really tough to trust. Worthy is a boring floor play, and I guess Burden is the upside play. Neither of these guys have very good floors. They could both hit on a big play. I guess Burden has a chance to grow and evolve into a role a little bit more, whereas Worthy is already established but not really doing anything with that role. I will say Worthy is a floor play, but his floor is not very high. And Burden is a ceiling play with a floor of 0. It's tough to trust either one of those guys, to be honest. Emmanuel Wilson or Jameson Williams in full PPR. Both good options. I do want to play JMO today. I want to find a way to get JMO in my lineup because I think he's going to have a very good game against the New York Giants. It's a great matchup, but Wilson should get bell cow usage today with no Josh Jacobs, so I think I have to go with Emmanuel Wilson. I wish I could play both. I really want to play JMO, but I'll take what I think is guaranteed volume for Emmanuel Wilson with no Jacobs. But I want to play both. I assume you can't, but I think both will do well for whatever it's worth. Wilson or Judkins, definitely. Honestly, if this is the same league, I would play Wilson and JMO over Judkins. If this is the same roster, the same lineup, I would play Wilson and JMO and bench Judkins. Judkins is a good player. We like Quinshon Judkins. We do not like his situation today with Shedeur making his first career start. I would play Wilson over Judkins, and I would play JMO over Judkins if it's the same roster. That's how you get JMO into your lineup. You bench Judkins. Watson, Pearsall, or Butte? Probably Watson. He's obviously a little volatile. Oh, what's going on, Iron? Good to see you. I will get you. I will get you here in shortly. I'll go Watson. He has, he's volatile because he could, if he doesn't hit on a big play, then his floor is potentially low. But the Packers are hurting really badly at receiver and weapons in general. No Josh Jacobs, no Tucker Kraft. I mean, and Matthew Golden is out. I mean, they're down to Watson, Dobbs, and Dontavian Wicks in a big divisional matchup against Minnesota. I'll take Watson. Pearsall, I think we need to wait another. There are certain scenarios where I'm okay playing Pearsall, but you have a guy in Watson that I feel a little bit more confident about. Pearsall, it's his second game back from a lot of missed time. He didn't do anything last week. Not totally unexpected. Let's maybe see it before we go back to him. Hopefully he has a decent game Monday night, and then that builds the confidence a little bit moving forward. But for now, I'll play Watson. He had a good game last week. Maybe we ride some positive momentum, and they need him. They need him. Not that the 49ers don't need Pearsall, but they have McCaffrey. They have Kittle. The Packers are down so many weapons. They need Christian Watson. I'll take Watson. Butte, he's missed a couple of weeks. So I would be curious to see if maybe he gets eased back into the lineup today. I'll wait a week on Butte. Iron, good to see you. Shuck or Flacco? Oh, boy. Shuck? I'm very worried about Flacco. I mean, I guess I don't want to get too ahead of myself. The thing with Flacco is he doesn't have Jamar Chase today. So, I mean, he still has T. Higgins. He still has Chase Brown. So he has some decent options to go to. But it is a tough matchup against New England. Also, how many first-team reps did Flacco take this week with Joe Burrow ramping up? Not that Flacco's been around the block. He's done it. Nothing phases him at this point, I'm sure. But did he get out of his rhythm a little bit this week in practice? I don't know. I'm speculating. I'm just spitballing, throwing some things out there. Burrow probably got some first-team reps this week, a good amount, ramping back up to make his return. I guess I'll take Shuck. I don't have a ton of confidence in it, Iron, to be completely honest. But, he has Olave. He has Juwan Johnson. It's a good match. Atlanta's defense is not intimidating at all. You can dump the ball off to Kamara. Flacco being down Jamar Chase, that makes me not want to play Joe Flacco. So I'll take Shuck. And then between Charbonnet or Walker, I've been advocating for Charbonnet most of the year, but I think I'm switching to Walker this week. He had a good game last week, and the coaching staff was talking him up. We need to get him more opportunities. It's a great matchup against Tennessee. Seattle should handle their business today against an inferior opponent, which means they should be running the ball. I'm riding the momentum. I'm riding the hot hand. Charbonnet was the hot hand to begin the season. It feels like that pendulum could be swinging to Walker. I'll take Walker over Charbonnet this week. That one I feel a little bit better about. So Shuck over Flacco. I don't have a ton of confidence in that, but good luck. And I'll take Walker definitively for me over Charbonnet this week. Charbonnet might be fine because, again, Seattle should handle their business, and both running backs should get plenty of opportunities. But I think, if we're to believe the coach speak, and based on what happened last week, I'll take Walker. Oh, you traded Hurts away. Oh no. and Daniels is hurt. Fields is cooked. Oh, Iron. I'm sorry. But at least you have Shuck if that's dynasty. I mean, he should be. I don't know if he's going to be viable for next year, but at least you have a starter for the rest of the season to help get you through. That's a tough break. Let's see. Back up to the top, or my spot in line. The most useful pickup for playoff depth, probably Gesicki of those names, because Burrow is coming back. And the target share is very condensed to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, but like the third receiver could absolutely be Gesicki. And again, Cincinnati's defense is awful. If the Bengals are gonna make any type of playoff push at 3-7, they gotta do what they did last year. They gotta score 30 points a game. They might have to score 40 points a game. That's how bad the Bengals defense is. So they can never take their foot off the gas. So that's just more opportunities, more volume, more potential targets. I'll take Gesicki. Brock Wright is an ancillary piece for the Lions, as is Darnell Washington, as is Taysom Hill. I mean, all of these guys are ancillary, but I'll take the dude. I'll take the dude who at least catches the ball from Joe Burrow for the rest of the way. And on the other side is a defense that can't stop a cold. Or a nosebleed. They can't. Whatever. You get the point. Cincinnati's defense sucks. Sorry, Bengals fans. But I'm just saying what you already know. Tyquan Thornton will be heavily involved. I need to see that first before I play him over Worthy. Where did that come from? Was that like a Jay Glazer report? Let me see what this. Let me check. Let me check X. Tyquan Thornton. Reports are they're planning to use him more today against the Colts. Yeah, I mean, look, that's fun and all well and good. I guess that, to me, that makes neither player playable. Like, Thornton could be interesting, and it's a good matchup, but, like, we haven't seen Tyquan Thornton for some time. I can't, based on that report, I can't fully commit to him. I could devalue Worthy, I guess. Whoever asked earlier, Worthy or Luther Burden, maybe just based on that, go with Burden. Maybe just don't play any Chiefs wide receivers not named Rashee Rice, and let's see how things play out. It's a good call out. I can't in good conscience advocate for Tyquan Thornton before we see has he leaped over Worthy on the depth chart. We don't definitively know that yet. but it is a good call out. What's going on, Jake? Good to see you. I see there's a couple more questions. I promise I will get to them, but I got to get to my members first. That is a perk of being a member of the channel. You are an underdog. Loveland, Otton, Taysom Hill. I would swing for Loveland. I think I would swing for Loveland. He's not a full-time player when Cole Kmet is healthy, but he looks like the better weapon for their offense. And I can only imagine his role is going to continue to grow and evolve as the 10th overall pick in this year's draft. The Steelers' defense is beatable. There could be some short fields created today by the Bears' defense with Mason Rudolph under center for Pittsburgh. I think I would swing for Loveland. Otton is interesting because of the opportunity, but he's a good football player. He's not a reliable fantasy asset. And yes, it should be in just a part-time role tonight, but Chris Godwin is back. He's expected to play. He's expected to be on a pitch count, but even a handful of snaps, Otton's margin for error is already pretty razor thin as it pertains to fantasy production. Anything to make that even more volatile is enough for me to say, okay, no. And Godwin coming back, even if he only plays a third of the snaps tonight, that's enough for me where it's okay, I'll pivot off of Otton. And you're looking for upside. I think Loveland has a better chance to make a big play than Cade Otton, even with Cole Kmet in there. The Bears, weapons, it's kind of a hodgepodge behind Rome Odunze. It's almost like dealer's choice, flavor of the day. It's a good matchup against Pittsburgh. I'll roll the dice on Loveland. If you needed a floor, if you were a big favorite and you just needed a floor and you were hoping to get 6 or 7 points, then maybe Otton, but I'll swing higher and go Loveland. If you're a huge underdog, take a dart throw. Taysom Hill, he could go off or he could do nothing. There's no in between. And his role is weird and not guaranteed, and I don't know what it'll be. And I don't trust the Saints' offense in general. Although it's not a bad matchup against Atlanta. I'll still say Loveland for big upside. You could stack it up. I mean, if you want to, you can. I would definitely play Burden over Worthy, given the report, and good call out, that Tyquan Thornton might see more opportunities today. So I would definitely pivot off of Worthy. I'm not advocating for starting Tyquan Thornton for anybody anywhere, but I would definitively, I think, bench Worthy for somebody like Burden, given this development. I don't know if it's going to come to pass, but Worthy was already super risky anyway. He hasn't done anything this year. So I will move Worthy to the bench for Burden. So if you want to stack it up with Caleb, that's fine. I might slightly prefer Jacoby in a vacuum again just because of his consistency over the past month, but the stack is perfectly fine to chase. If you want to stack it up and go Caleb, that's fine. That's fine with me. But I think now definitively I would roll the dice on Luther Burden over Worthy, given the news that Tyquan Thornton could see more opportunities today. Because Rashee Rice isn't losing his opportunities. If Thornton gets more chances, that's coming at the expense of Worthy. Full PPR, Kenneth Walker, Ramondre Stevenson, or Monangai. Walker. I'll take Walker. The vibes on Kenneth Walker right now are pretty positive. They've been blah all season so far, but he had a great game last week, and then the coaching staff said they need to get him more opportunities. It is a good matchup by the numbers against Tennessee. Yes, Jeffrey Simmons is back for them, but Seattle is the better team. They are the better team top to bottom over Tennessee. They should handle their business. Walker should get plenty of opportunities. In a matchup where they are almost 2 touchdown favorites, they should be running the football plenty today. And again, the coaching staff talked up Walker after his performance last week. I think he gets more opportunities. I'll take Walker. I do like Stevenson today against Cincinnati. I like both Patriots running back. Honestly, any Patriot could be fired up on a dart throw just because of how bad the Bengals defense is, in case I haven't said that enough today. But I don't know definitively what Stevenson's role is going to be after TreVeyon Henderson's emergence. Walker, I feel more confident about. Monongaya is a 1B, if not the backup outright to DeAndre Swift. I don't want to trust Monongaya, and he did not have a good game last week in a good matchup. I'll take Walker. Oh, and start Pearsall or Fannin. Pearsall. I'll take the shot on Pearsall over. I like Fannin, but Njoku's going to play. Shedeur Sanders is going to start. I don't like that spot. I'm going to wait a week on any. Honestly, I'm going to wait a week on like all Browns, unless you're hurting and need to start Quinshon Judkins. Hurting at depth, that is. I want to pivot and avoid all Browns until we see what Shedeur looks like as the starter. I'll take the shot on Pearsall at home against Carolina, second game back from the injury. I'll take the shot on Pearsall. Jaylen Warren or Sean Tucker? Yeah, Warren is obviously a lot more volatile without Aaron Rodgers, but he should get solid volume today. He is the Steelers' bell cow when healthy. Kenny Gainwell only gets in there with an expanded role if something happens. If something happens to Jaylen Warren, then he gets in there. So I think Warren's role is locked in. Tucker should be the starter for the Bucs, but I think Rachaad White is going to mix in on passing downs. And so in full PPR, that makes Tucker a little less enticing. I think Warren's role is a little bit more assured, and especially in full PPR, I think that's where Tucker loses some value. I will say Warren, despite the fact that Mason Rudolph is starting for Pittsburgh. I'll take Warren. PPR, need upside. Michael Wilson, DeAndre Swift, Tyler Warren. Is this a start one? Man. I mean, Tyler Warren has been awesome. Michael Wilson has a great opportunity today. Swift is in a solid spot against Pittsburgh. I don't know that he has upside. I think Swift has a good floor. I don't know if he's going to have like a slate-busting week, but I do think he has a high floor. Full PPR. Man, it's a good matchup for Swift. And the Steelers' defense is not scary. I think I'll take Swift over Wilson in full PPR. I mean, all three of these guys are good options. I want to play all three of them, but if you can only play one, I guess I'll take the running back. I think Chicago, Mason Rudolph starting for Pittsburgh makes it awfully tough for the Steelers to hang in this game. I don't know if the Bears are necessarily world beaters, but Mason Rudolph he's a backup for a reason. I think the Steelers could struggle today on offense, and their defense hasn't been good. This is not our daddy's Steelers defense, who have always been shut down. They've always been elite. They've always been upper echelon. They're not that. Pittsburgh's defense is not that. And recently, running backs have done well against them. I'll take the high floor of Swift. I know you said you need upside. I think Swift is the play here. I think his floor is incredibly high. I know that's not the same as high upside, but I think he's the safest play here. But I like all of those options. Michael Wilson should have a good game. Tyler Warren should be perfectly fine coming out of the bye week in a matchup where Indy's going to have to throw. I will rank them as Swift, Wilson, Warren in that order, but honestly, it's close. They're all good options. They truly are. Yeah, Taysom has. I mean, the Saints have a good playoff schedule, but like I don't trust. I just don't trust the Saints hodgepodge options. Okay, we are at the end of the chat. We've got about 45 minutes until kickoff, and I got to take care of my own stuff. So I'll stick around for another minute or two, but I need to make sure that my own lineups are set to go and that all my bets are placed for the week. So I will start the shutdown here now. But if anybody has any last minute things, I can quickly give you some thoughts. Shout out to all my members. As always, appreciate you guys coming in. I saw Crumply Heads. I saw Sport Dog. I saw Mike. I saw Greg. I saw Iron. I saw Jake. And those are all of the members that I saw today. Appreciate all you guys coming in and your continued support. And everybody for coming in and hanging out today. Obviously, best of luck in your matchups. Tucker over Tracy and Stevenson. Yeah, I think that's fine. Tucker should lead the backfield at the very least. I do worry about him losing a little bit of value in full PPR, but I think his role is a little bit safer than Tracy's got a brutal matchup, and Stevenson. I like Stevenson today because it's Cincinnati, but I don't know what his role is going to be after Henderson emerged. And then Wandale or Trey Tucker. Wandale. Give me Wandale for the volume. The Giants are like 11, 12-point underdogs to Detroit. They're going to be throwing the ball. Jameis will be aggressive. I don't love Jameis as a play today, but I do think the volume will be enough to prop up Wandale. Trey Tucker's in a bad matchup against Cleveland. Okay. I think that's going to do it for me. I got to go. Best of luck, everybody. Thank you again for your time and for coming in. I will see you guys on Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern for Week 13 waivers. I will be traveling for the holiday, but I'm not like doing any. I'm going home. I will be able to make time next week for streams ahead of Week 13. So you guys will still get me. I know obviously with the Thanksgiving holiday, that's going to be. Some people are going to be traveling and unavailable. I will make myself available at certain points next week. So fear not, I will be available, and I'm not flying until Wednesday. So Tuesday night waivers, you've got me. 6 p.m. Eastern, same time, same place. If I don't see any of you or some of you, have a great Thanksgiving, have a great holiday, however you spend it. Have fun, be safe, enjoy whatever it is you're doing, however you're spending it. And hopefully I see many of you next week in some way, shape, or form. Thanks, everybody. Best of luck today. I will see you guys on Tuesday.